A passenger's checked bag just exploded at 35,000 feet, forcing an emergency landing and putting 200 lives at risk. The culprit wasn't a bomb or a weapon. It was something millions of travelers pack every single day without thinking twice. And here's the terrifying part. TSA has quietly updated their banned items list for 2025. And item number 2 on today's countdown could land travelers in federal prison without them even knowing it was illegal. But before we reveal which common household item nearly brought down an entire aircraft, make sure to hit that subscribe button right now. The Transportation Security Administration has implemented some of the most significant rule changes in aviation history this year. What seemed perfectly acceptable to pack in 2024 can now result in hefty fines, missed flights, or even criminal charges in 2025. These aren't minor policy adjustments. These are emergency responses to real incidents that have put passenger safety at serious risk. The most alarming aspect of these new restrictions is how common these banned items are. They're sitting in homes, offices, and hotel rooms across America right now. Everyday objects that travelers have been packing for years have suddenly become potential hazards that security agencies are actively hunting for. Flight crews, baggage handlers, and aviation safety experts are speaking out about incidents that the general public rarely hears about. Cargo hold fires, emergency landings, and passenger evacuations, all caused by items that millions of people consider harmless travel essentials.
The cost of these incidents isn't just measured in dollars, it's measured in lives, and the aviation industry has reached a breaking point.
The travelers who ignore these new rules aren't just risking their own safety, they're putting every passenger on their flight in danger. Don't be that person who ruins everyone's vacation because they didn't stay informed. Starting our countdown at number 10, high-capacity batteries over 160 watt-hours. Most travelers have no idea what a watt-hour even means, but this measurement could determine whether they make their flight or face federal charges. In February 2025, an adventure photographer traveling to Alaska made a costly mistake. He packed a 200 watt-hour drone battery in his checked luggage, thinking the cargo hold would be safer than the cabin. When TSA scanners detected the oversized battery during routine screening, security immediately flagged it as an explosion risk. The photographer's bag was pulled from the aircraft, and the battery was confiscated and destroyed. But the consequences didn't end there. His photography equipment was incomplete for the entire trip, forcing him to rent replacement gear at enormous cost. The incident also triggered a full investigation of his travel history and photography business. Aviation experts explain that high-capacity batteries can overheat and explode with tremendous force, especially in the unpressurized cargo hold where temperature fluctuations are extreme. The lithium inside these batteries becomes unstable when exposed to the conditions found in aircraft cargo areas. Number 9. Realistic weapon replicas, even when completely inert. The definition of realistic has become much stricter in 2025, catching many innocent travelers off guard. During a comic convention trip in April 2025, a dedicated cosplayer learned this lesson the hard way. She packed what she considered an obviously fake prop gun in her checked luggage, following what she thought were proper declaration procedures. The replica was made of plastic, painted in bright colors, and completely non-functional. However, when TSA X-ray machines detected the item, it triggered an immediate security response. The bag was quarantined, and bomb squad technicians were called to investigate. The cosplayer was detained for over 2 hours, while authorities determined that the item was indeed harmless. The incident caused her flight to be delayed, affecting hundreds of other passengers. She faced questioning from federal agents and was placed on a watch list that complicates all future travel. The convention organizers also banned her from future events due to the negative publicity surrounding the incident. Number 8. Camping fuel and flammable liquids, including empty containers that still carry odors. This rule change has devastated the outdoor recreation community. A group of experienced hikers discovered this new enforcement during their trip to Yellowstone National Park in June 2025. They packed what they believed were empty propane canisters for their camping stove, having used similar containers on dozens of previous trips without incident. TSA's enhanced detection equipment immediately identified trace amounts of flammable gas residue inside the supposedly empty containers. The entire group was detained while hazardous materials specialists evaluated the threat level. Their bags were quarantined for hours while technicians determined whether the containers posed an explosion risk. The delay caused the group to miss their connecting flight and lose their reserved campsite. They were forced to purchase new camping fuel at inflated tourist prices and faced potential fines for transporting undeclared hazardous materials. The incident also triggered an investigation into their outdoor recreation business. Number 7. Smart luggage with non-removable lithium batteries. The luxury travel industry has been blindsided by this enforcement. In March 2025, a technology executive discovered that her expensive smart suitcase had become a liability rather than an asset. The high-end luggage featured built-in GPS tracking, USB charging ports, and weight sensors, all powered by a lithium battery that was integrated into the frame and couldn't be removed. When she attempted to check the bag for her business trip to San Francisco, TSA agents immediately identified it as a fire hazard. The entire suitcase, worth over $800, was confiscated and destroyed, according to hazardous materials protocols. The executive was left without her luggage, professional clothing, and presentation materials. The incident caused her to miss a crucial board meeting that had been scheduled for months. Her company's potential merger deal was delayed and her professional reputation suffered significant damage. The smart luggage manufacturer faced a class action lawsuit from hundreds of customers who experienced similar confiscations. These aren't isolated incidents. They're happening to travelers every single day. The smart ones stay ahead of these changes by staying informed. Don't let ignorance cost you your next vacation. Number 6. Alcoholic beverages over 140 proof. This seems like a straightforward rule until travelers realize how it's being enforced. A spirits enthusiast flying from Kentucky to New York in May 2025 thought he was following all proper procedures when he packed a bottle of 150 proof moonshine in his checked luggage. The alcohol was a gift for a collector friend and seemed like a thoughtful souvenir from his distillery tour. Customs and TSA agents intercepted the bottle during routine screening, treating it as a Class 3 flammable liquid rather than a simple alcoholic beverage. The high alcohol content made it a potential ignition source in the event of an electrical malfunction or fire in the cargo hold. The traveler received a formal violation notice and was required to appear before a federal magistrate. His name was added to a database of travelers who have attempted to transport hazardous materials. The bottle was destroyed and he faced potential fines of up to $5,000 for unknowingly violating federal transportation regulations. Number 5. Flammable aerosols, including many common household products that don't obviously appear dangerous. The definition has expanded dramatically in 2025. During a family vacation to Hawaii in July 2025, a well-intentioned parent made a mistake that could have had catastrophic consequences. Concerned about mosquitoes and other insects, they packed a large canister of bug spray in their checked luggage, thinking it would be safer than carrying it in the cabin. The aerosol contained flammable propellants that TSA's enhanced detection systems immediately flagged as hazardous materials. The canister was confiscated and treated as a potential explosive device. The family's entire luggage set was quarantined while specialists determined whether other dangerous items might be present. The delay caused the family to miss their connecting flight to Maui, losing their hotel reservation and requiring expensive last-minute rebooking. Their children's first tropical vacation was nearly ruined by a simple misunderstanding of current regulations. Number 4. Damaged or recalled electronics with lithium batteries. This category includes devices that many travelers continue using despite obvious warning signs. A business traveler heading to a conference in Chicago made a decision that could have been fatal for everyone aboard his aircraft. His smartphone had a visibly swollen battery that he had been ignoring for weeks, thinking it was just a minor cosmetic issue. When he packed the damaged device in his checked luggage, TSA scanners immediately detected the compromised battery during routine screening. The swollen battery contained unstable lithium compounds that could ignite spontaneously, especially under the pressure and temperature changes of flight. The device was confiscated and disposed of according to hazardous waste protocols. The traveler's bag was delayed for additional screening, causing him to miss crucial conference sessions. He also faced questioning about why he had attempted to transport what agents classified as a potential incendiary device. Pause for just a moment. If you're not getting these critical travel updates, you're basically flying blind in 2025. Join the millions of smart travelers who stay informed and never get caught off guard at security. Number 3. Electronic cigarettes and vaping devices in checked luggage. The enforcement of this rule has become aggressive and unforgiving. During a spring break flight from Miami to Las Vegas, a college student made a packing decision that nearly caused an aviation disaster. She placed her vaping device in checked luggage, thinking the cargo hold would prevent any accidental activation during flight. The device's lithium battery and e-liquid created a perfect storm of danger at cruising altitude. Pressure changes caused the liquid to leak, which then came into contact with the battery terminals. The resulting short circuit generated smoke and heat, triggering fire detection systems in the cargo hold. The aircraft was immediately diverted for an emergency landing while flight crews prepared for a potential cargo fire. The student faced federal charges for endangering an aircraft, and her device was treated as evidence in a criminal investigation. Fellow passengers missed connections across multiple time zones, and several threatened legal action for their losses. Number 2. Cordless hair tools with gas cartridges, specifically butane-powered styling devices. This newly banned category has caught the beauty community completely unprepared. In August 2025, a beauty influencer traveling from New York to Los Angeles for a red carpet event made a packing choice that derailed her entire career. She packed her professional-grade butane curling iron in checked luggage, following what had been standard practice for years. TSA's updated scanning technology immediately flagged the gas cartridge as a fire and explosion hazard. The device was confiscated, and her entire luggage set was subjected to intensive screening for additional hazardous materials. The process delayed her flight by over an hour, while specialists evaluated the threat. She arrived at her destination without the styling tools needed for her professional appearance. The resulting photos showed her with unstyled hair, leading to significant backlash from her sponsors. 3 major beauty brands terminated their contracts with her, citing her unprofessional appearance at the high-profile event. This influencer's career was destroyed by a simple packing mistake. The travelers who survive these changes are the ones who stay educated and prepared. Don't let outdated information ruin your livelihood. Number 1. The most dangerous item that travelers pack without thinking twice. Spare lithium-ion batteries and power banks in checked luggage. This isn't just a rule violation, it's a recipe for catastrophe. In January 2025, passengers aboard a flight from South Korea experienced every traveler's worst nightmare. A spare lithium-ion power bank in someone's checked luggage overheated and exploded during flight, causing a small but dangerous fire in the cargo hold. The explosion created a cascade of emergency responses. Fire suppression systems activated, filling the cargo area with chemical suppressants. The aircraft immediately began an emergency descent while flight crews prepared for a potential evacuation upon landing. Oxygen masks deployed in the cabin as smoke infiltrated the passenger area. The emergency landing was successful, but the psychological trauma affected passengers for months afterward. The traveler whose power bank caused the incident faced criminal charges for endangering an aircraft and civil lawsuits from fellow passengers who suffered emotional distress and financial losses. The investigation revealed that the battery had been damaged during baggage handling, causing internal components to overheat and ignite. If the fire had spread to other cargo or structural components, the outcome could have been catastrophic for all 200 people aboard. Every person on that flight could have died because one traveler didn't understand current battery regulations. The responsible travelers make sure they're never the cause of someone else's tragedy. Now here's something that airport insiders don't want the general public to know. When TSA agents spot prohibited items during screening, they use a specific code phrase to communicate with their supervisors. If an agent approaches you and says, "We need to have a conversation about your travel essentials," they're not being friendly. They're using the standard protocol for potential rule violations. This phrase indicates that they've found something that could result in confiscation, fines, or even criminal charges. Experienced travelers know that hearing these words means they need to cooperate fully and immediately. If you've ever heard this exact phrase at airport security, drop travel essentials in the comments below. You'll be amazed at how many people have experienced this without understanding its significance. The key to safe travel in 2025 is understanding that these rules exist for legitimate safety reasons. Every prohibition on this list corresponds to actual incidents that have endangered lives and cost the aviation industry millions of dollars in emergency responses and aircraft damage. Smart travelers check the current TSA guidelines before every trip, not just when rules change. They pack conservatively, choosing to leave questionable items at home rather than risk confiscation or delays. They also understand that arguing with security agents is futile. The agents don't make the rules, they just enforce them. The most successful strategy is to assume that any battery-powered device, flammable substance, or realistic replica could be problematic. When in doubt, ship items separately, or purchase them at your destination. The few dollars saved by packing prohibited items is never worth the thousands you might lose in fines, delays, and emergency travel expenses. These rule changes reflect a broader shift in aviation security philosophy. Rather than reacting to threats after they occur, agencies are now proactively identifying and eliminating potential hazards before they reach aircraft. The cost of emergency landings, passenger evacuations, and aircraft damage has become unsustainable. Airlines report that prohibited item incidents cost the industry over $100 million annually in delays, diversions, and operational disruptions. These costs are inevitably passed on to consumers through higher ticket prices and reduced services. The psychological impact on passengers who experience emergency situations caused by prohibited items is also significant. Many develop lasting fears of flying that affect their personal and professional lives. The aviation industry is taking a zero-tolerance approach to prevent these traumas from occurring. If these revelations have opened your eyes to the hidden dangers of modern air travel, make sure you're subscribed to stay ahead of future rule changes. Hit that notification bell so you never miss critical updates that could save your next trip from disaster. The transportation security landscape changes rapidly, and what's legal today might be banned tomorrow. Stay vigilant, pack smart, and always prioritize safety over convenience. Your fellow passengers are counting on informed travelers like you to keep everyone safe at 35,000 feet. Thanks for watching, and remember, knowledge is your best travel companion.